Welcome, everybody, to the Loud and Drunk podcast. I'm producer Dan, joined once again by Moses. Moses, we're actually going to be talking MRI accidents today, and since you're a walking disaster, how many have you had?
I'm not so much a walking disaster as just an aftermath of disasters.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
it's really not my fault. That's probably the alcoholism talking, but let's see how this goes.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to
Oh.
be here. My name is Peter Shabazz. Pleasure.
Baby Shabazz, it's great for you to join us.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
And unfortunately, Justin can't be here for this podcast, but we have a guest.
condolences.
We have my doctor, the designer of the Loud and Drunk logo, and our first lady to join the Loud and Drunk podcast.
Impressive. How'd you get here?
Yeah.
Did you drive yourself? Is that allowed?
Can't imagine.
What country do we live in?
Let me introduce her. Let me say her name.
Sorry.
Women can't have licenses.
Just saying it. We're close to July 4th still, so, you know.
Yeah, America.
Yeah.
It's ladies' night, and Loud and Drunk is right. All right, so we have the lovely Kim. Kim, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience?
Hello, I'm Kim.
Thanks for coming, Kim Doppelpopoulos.
It's nice to see you, doctor.
So,
Dr. Kim.
lady and gentleman, recently I had an MRI done. I had, a number of issues, tension, headaches, my shoulders fucked up.
Oh, no.
And so I had the MRI done.
The man's got problems. You gotta fucking make fun of him.
For the longest time, I was like, do I have the injury that Dan Marino and Peyton Manning had toward the end of their career, like a pinched nerve in my neck? Because that's kind of like
Yeah,
what
it doesn't
all
make
was.
sense that you would, but all right.
Yeah, because I'm not slinging footballs like 40 times.
But you are a Dolphins fan, and that's gotta
you
be
are-
painful.
That probably does hurt a bit. Yeah.
So in that, I thought it was a good opportunity we could talk MRIs and MRI accidents, and no one better to talk about that than Kim. It is kind of weird to be in an MRI machine. I don't know how many times you gentlemen have done.
I've never been in
5 or
one.
6.
No.
5 or 6?
Yeah, I'm just guessing, really. It's probably more, probably less. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I've been in it. I know of it, and it's a claustrophobic feeling because you're there for something that could make or break your bank because you might have to actually put money toward your health, and being inside that little
tube.
They call it a tube.
it's like being a bullet in a gun, and you're like the 16th in the chamber.
It's ready to fire off.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, let's see what's going to go wrong now.
Yeah,
because it's all encompassing of a sort.
I've had a few MRIs in my time because the amount of times I've worked out, like I'm going to get hurt. And apparently I made a glass because I hurt myself often. Oh. And it's the last 2 that I've had where I've really kind of like, I'm not okay doing this anymore. I had an MRI done on my head when I was last year because I thought the tension headaches might be something worse. And then I was in there and I was freaking out for the whole 40 minutes I was in that in the MRI machine. And then we jumped to this. Even though I had a little break in between, like 20 minutes, I was still like, I'm not okay with this. It's like essentially being in a coffin. And I was just, don't hit the button because they might have to start all over again. So that's actually my first question to you, Kim, because I kind of believe that if I hit that little button, I have to, the whole thing has to start from the beginning, right?
Not necessarily. So it depends on what the manufacturer of the MRI unit is. So there's GE, there's Philips, there's Siemens, and certain ones will allow you to
Well, I got it.
do a hard stop and then continue where you left off, and then other ones will not. If you press that button due to anxiety, then sometimes we have to start all over again, and sometimes we can just start with whatever sequence we were working on. So we do different sequences based on cross-sectional anatomy. I know.
You'll have to
There's a
define
lot.
that
So
because most of our
sagittal,
listeners.
coronal, axial. So we cut
I
the
know what it
body
means,
in
but-
different
I'm hung up
places.
on pressing a button and then there's a hard stop and Siemens all being in the same sentence.
Yeah, it sounds like a glory hole.
I know that I am 16 though, just so you guys know.
Is the
I don't know
MRI
who's
not a
giving me this
glory
alcohol.
hole? Because that's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
So, basically, if you press that button, we could probably just start over again based on what sequence we were working on, no matter what machine you were on. So it wouldn't ruin the whole study.
Okay.
Why does it take so long?
Because we're getting images in different planes, right? So we're getting them in sagittal, which is like a side view. We're getting them in axial, like if your body was a loaf of bread and we're cutting it in slices.
Okay.
And
My body is a loaf of
coronal,
bread,
which is
actually.
if we're like cutting you down the center. And we're also doing it in different pulse sequences, which is like a T1, a T2, a stir. All of that is different images that make fluid or muscle or bone look different densities. So sometimes
So they could
it'll
read
make
it.
fluid look bright. So you know that what you're looking at, if it's fluid or inflammation being bright, or you're looking at bone and we can make it dark or light, and we can make muscle dark or light. So,
It's all about the contrast.
yep.
Can these machines look into the past or the future? Or is it only just what's happening in your body
No,
right now?
just presently.
Just the present.
So this is not an Avengers thing.
Nope.
Well, she didn't say that it wasn't in
No
Avengers.
psychic
Well, she
ability.
didn't.
No psychic abilities.
Well,
Okay.
Well, there was no psychic.
I mean, there's no
abilities in Avengers.
linearity to time, so I mean... so-
Linearity, you mean?
yes.
That's probably what he meant. I don't know what he's talking about.
God. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Kim, let's have a conversation because this asshole has no idea about comic books.
I'm floating through. In fairness, I'm several whiskeys deep now on a very empty stomach. You got some shit to say to me, doctor?
Linearity.
God damn, I can't even pronounce that. What
That is a
It's
hard word.
Yeah, that's difficult. There's a lot of
Linearity.
syllables in there.
There are, and there's a
Several syllables.
syllables in the right emphasis.
Yeah, emphasis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I got for it. What is a magnet?
All right, let's not do that to her.
He's asking the hard questions here.
All right, so we mentioned before being anxious in an MRI machine. And in preparation for this podcast, you sent me all the reasons in the world why you should be anxious going into an MRI machine.
Why should you be anxious? Because don't they just give you like some Xanny bars and call it a day?
So you're talking about anxiety in a claustrophobia sense. He's talking about anxiety in a death sense.
Why would you think you're gonna die in there?
Oh, because it happens all the time.
Every day. Yeah. The mortality rate in these MRI machines is through the roof.
Like that doesn't seem like a thing that should be. Like, why would somebody die in there other than they're like that? Like, they're just gonna die, and they just
Like a
happens.
final destination thing?
Well, that's what I'm thinking now when she said that it's a final destination thing where it's like, oh, you have too much iron in your blood, so it rips out like it's fucking Magneto.
I
from
was just
X-Men.
thinking like a gas truck burst through the wall or something. But yeah, you're probably more accurate.
I know
Mine
that's
seems
not how
unlikely.
metal works, but like, X-Men has told me enough that
That's the only education that I need too.
I feel
brother.
like you're living
Yeah.
your life by X-Men too much.
it's been brought up several times.
yeah, and look how far I've gotten.
Oh,
I'm on a podcast.
you're doing this, yeah.
I'm still alive, and I'm like 40 or 50 years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
So in the
One of
risk
these
management world, like MRI is the riskiest place in all of healthcare that you can exist. More deaths, injuries, and accidents happen in MRI than any other place in
I'd
healthcare.
like an example.
Isn't
Well-
that well,
If you would like an example from IFL Science, this is why you should never wear a metal butt plug in an MRI machine.
Dan, I'm going to stop you right there. If
Yeah,
I'm not
there's-
wearing it to my MRI, then what's the fucking point of having one?
why am I even having an MRI?
I'm upset that I'm not on a fucking MRI,
That's how I get
machine
off.
right now.
This
yeah.
just happened this year, right? I sent you the article.
Yes, you did
to
send me the
prepare
article.
for my episode.
And it's not even from that long ago either. It's from May 11th of this year.
Yeah. So what happened here?
Before that, can we get a definition of what MRI? Because it's
Meteorological radiation
Magnetic
initiation.
resonance imaging.
Oh, I was right.
I think I was right, but that's fair.
I was thinking
You've
about
got
it
the paperwork for it,
in the
so.
shower this morning. I'm like, what does MRI stand for? I'm like, oh, it must be magnetic resonance.
I still don't know what a magnet is, but let's just gloss over it.
So
don't
I
embarrass
wasn't
myself.
going to read this lead, but now I'm totally reading it.
Read it.
If you've been on Twitter today, you may have come across a tweet that may
Twitter's still a thing.
that made you tense your butthole as
my
tight
God.
as it is possible to go.
Every tweet does this to
Every
me.
fart does that.
Wow. It's aggressive.
If you haven't, here are the basics. Twitter user Bradius0 shared a scan which appears to show a butt plug embedded within someone's body
I don't know what you're saying.
It's tough to read.
Some of this has got to be
Than
edited.
a butt plug should be.
If it's not in your butt, where else has a butt
That's
plug
the
go?
only place that it belongs.
It's kind of in
And
the
even
name.
then, it's a particular person.
Greatest personal injury case I have ever seen. An accompanied screenshot of a direct message reads, an estimated Valley attorney has picked up a client who is suing a sex toy company, said client purchased a butt plug that was advertised as 100% silicone. Client wears butt plug to MRI appointment. Much to client's dismay, butt plug is in fact, it has a metallic core. Butt plug is accelerated at the speed of sound.
Yeah. Well, you
God,
need a
that's-
metallic core.
Well, I wouldn't
we
go
get-
to
can we
that
get a-
extent.
You need a metallic core, though. I'm just going to put that right out there.
Because that's fast.
Let's just say it's not the speed of sound, but there is like torque and Lenz's laws and like metallic
There's
items
definitely torque.
enter
When I buy a butt plug, I look
Are
for
you
the torque.
saying Jaeger died for
magnetic
nothing?
field, and they will be pulled in a certain direction by like physics in nature. So this person apparently had a butt plug,
Nice.
which I guess there's people that walk around wearing them all day, every day.
And see, that's something
to, like,
that I hope that
normal
not
activities.
only ourselves here. I just want to interject real quick. I just want for everyone to keep that in their mind for the rest of their lives. That there's
That
just
there's
you're
people
just
you may be
randomly
interacting
meeting people.
with.
You're in
Sometimes
line
just
at the
saying
grocery
hello.
store, and the person in front of you that is
They're
wearing a butt
checked
plug.
like an
Have a butt
asshole,
plug.
and she's 90 years old. Butt plug.
Yeah, she's got one in her
got
right
one in
now.
there.
And she's getting off to this conversation.
Oh, like that's
you are getting
That's
her
why
randy.
she's writing a check.
Oh,
Like she has the
absolutely, yeah.
cash, she has the credit.
That
but
little
she
smirk
wants
that
this
she
to
gave you,
last.
that's not for you.
So like
Fucking perverts. We live with perverts.
we ask about a
I'm wearing one right
million
now.
questions before you go in the MRI about what you may or may not have inside your body that you weren't born with. And this person chose not to disclose that they had a butt plug in because when they bought their butt plug, it was marketed as 100% silicone. However, it was not.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, and unfortunately, you did explain this scenario to me at a previous point, and my takeaway from it is that, like, I'm not going to kink shame somebody. You know, you want to wear a butt plug everywhere. That is weird. It's a little weird. You know, like I myself, bedroom. That's where you do these things. You know,
No.
if one is into it. I'm not wearing a butt plug right now. It was a joke, Kim. It was a joke. You are my doctor, and I'm not obviously going to divulge these things to you. That said, even if that's your thing, you just want to wear this around everywhere that you go. Okay, that's you. You're going to go buy an Amazon review, though, for something that has potentially lethal consequences?
Well, I don't know if it had an Amazon review. I think the person bought the butt plug, looked at the packing slip or whatever.
I'm just saying, all this shit's made in China.
The
So it's
ingredients
like,
were 100% silicone.
yeah, but like, where do you think it's getting made? It's not like some fucking, like, you know, he's not like a cobbler making shoes,
Well,
you know, in downtown
let's just
Boston.
say that- They're not
a
It's
dildo
fucking
cobbler.
company. Yeah.
Like I go to the haberdasher. Why wouldn't I go to the dildo dasher?
This
Or
butt
a
plug
dickler.
ripped
I don't know.
out of the person's rectum, through their intestines, and
Yeah.
up into their abdominal cavity, and was like abutting their liver.
Yeah. Did
So
they
it was
survive
all
that?
the way up into their like.
I wish I was dead if that was me.
Yeah,
I would just
'cause
rather be dead.
Just of the embarrassment.
Everything about it. And also, why would you even want to survive that in the first place? Because your organs are all
well,
fucked
this
up now?
person did, and
Now you
let
can
me
f-
tell you, in the
There's
MRI
no amount of
world,
money that would make that
You
okay.
could fit more dildos now.
That's
in
true.
the MRI world, we all assumed it was a male when it happened. But then when more details came out, turns out it was a female.
Yeah. Good for her. She's getting off.
Girls are dirty.
I have to read the rest of this, though. I know we stopped at, the speed of sound because that sounds a little ridiculous.
That sounds exhausting.
But
This was called the Maverick vibrator, by the way.
so
This is a
God
solid
bless
one.
America.
Absolutely, yeah. You ever heard of Mach 10?
That's what happens when you put football instead of volleyball.
butt plug is accelerated at the speed of sound into client's chest cavity.
Jesus. Well, where's it going? There's nowhere else to go. than
Where
the
is my
chest
liver
cavity.
if not in my main thorax area? Do I have a thorax?
It wasn't the chest. It was the abdominal cavity. It didn't make its way to the lung areas.
That's why you got to do your Pilates. You want a strong diaphragm.
That's why you got to do your Kegels so you could hold it.
described.
Shit. Yeah, you're probably right.
It was described in a memo as an anal railgun.
Wow, that's awesome. Holy shit.
God damn.
So, I'm sorry. So then you're in the business of anal railguns, I guess.
Like, I've read a lot of books, but I've never
Sometimes.
read something so poetic as anal railgun.
Yeah.
As a description of something. Like, sit back, fucking Robert Frost. 'Cause you got a thing to learn. Fucking Hemingway and Emerson are just like, let me just sip my gin, because I got nothing to add.
Anal railgun. Oh my god, that needs to be on our fucking band name.
That is
list.
a good band name.
That's a great band name.
Well, I mean, you're in charge of the list, sir.
All right, let's circle back to that.
Let's
one. I'm running
let's
that one up
bring
the
it to the
flagpole.
attention of the listener that we do have a running tally of band names that are quite
Great.
atrocious.
We could have a whole episode about that.
We could
Yeah,
next time.
that is top of the list, though.
So that was just the most recent accident that has been publicized, but over the years there's been so many that are so awful. Dan, do you
I
want
feel like none of our listeners
talk
will
about
ever
any-
get MRIs again. They're all just like dying of
any
cancer.
of the other horrible ways to die that I sent you?
It is a ridiculous way to die.
I have this one from the New York Post. Lawyer dies after gun triggered by a hospital MRI scanner.
He brought a gun into a.
Yes, he did.
It was probably the cop that brought it in there.
No, it was the guy.
Oh, he just had like a piece in his.
It was his mother getting the scan, and he walked in, and they asked him all the appropriate questions. He denied he had a gun because he
Was it in
like,
his
"Fuck
ass?
you, I don't
Why
need."
was he in there? In the,
I
in
don't
the
need.
room?
You don't need to know I have a gun, and he went in anyway, and the gun flew out of his waistband, hit the machine,
then just went
off,
Now that's Final Destination.
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
hit him in the abdomen.
Oh, it
Like,
hit him.
Yes,
Not the
his own
oh, well,
self.
Good. Well, good, because that's called karma.
Yep.
I was gonna say, like, I get it, and like, I'm a big fan of firearms and gun rights and these things, but like, really, that's the society that we're living in, where you need to bring your fucking.
That's
piece
why we
into
need-
an MRI room.
This is
like,
why
just
we need
in
more
case Osama
rules
bin
on
Laden
gun
comes back
control,
to Earth.
because assholes just walk into MRIs and they're like, oh, I don't have anything.
That's great.
Like, come
Yeah,
on.
you definitely got what you deserve.
Yeah.
You'll
I don't
also-
even believe in karma, but like, goddamn, you're
Yeah,
starting to
that's
sway.
absurd.
You're swaying me.
That's totally crazy.
You'll also like his occupation because it's literally what starts this lead. A Brazilian lawyer tragically died after his gun was discharged by an MRI machine's magnetic field at the hospital.
So him is a her. So let's get that out of the way because it's fucking. It's what do they call it down there? Carnival.
transgenderism? Oh.
Carnival.
The freak accident occurred on January 16th while the gun-loving lawyer named Leandro Matias
Gun-loving
I'm
lawyer.
sure he ain't loving guns no more.
was taking his mother to get scanned at the
The Brazilian MRI spot.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter.
jam.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah, like, I have drinks there.
Their Caprinos are great.
Well, I like the
Their
source.
taquitos are to die for.
I like the source that the New York Post, used. The Jam Press. Unbeknownst to hospital staff, the attorney had a registered firearm in his possession. Staff had reportedly asked the pair to remove all metal objects before entering the MRI room, as is protocol at hospitals due to the device's powerful magnetic field. However, Nueves decided to go in sans, announcing his concealed weapon. Disaster struck after the machine yanked the weapon from his waistband, causing it to go off and strike the lawyer in the stomach. He was subsequently rushed to San Luis
That was the
Morambi Hospital, where he hung on 4 weeks before eventually succumbing to his injuries on February 6th.
I'm so glad that happened to him and not his mother who was in the
Well, yeah, that.
MRI.
I mean, that's still pretty traumatic, though. For the mom.
Yeah, but think about his mother who's going in there for some kind of routine procedure. No, it's not even a procedure. It's just a test.
Yeah.
It's not a
And then all of a sudden she comes out of that machine and she's like, my God, I burnt the fucking moron.
her son. Then she's got to bury her son.
Yeah.
And no mother should.
Oh,
live
producer Dan, pull up the one about the guy from India.
Indian man killed in MRI accident. This is from
Got a laundry
Imaging
list of these.
Technology
Yeah.
News. Victim reportedly asked to conceal a metallic oxygen cylinder into the exam room and was told the machine was off. Attending radiologist 1 of 4 arrested. Okay.
Oh, man.
This is from
And they don't arrest people that often there.
Yo, just so you know, the magnet is never off. always
No, it's
on.
a magnet. How do you shut it off? How do you shut it off? It's a magnet.
What is a magnet?
Yeah, I think we're getting back to the basis of the first question.
So
which
this
is, what is a
dude
magnet?
brought the oxygen tank in, and he didn't this is interesting. He didn't die by the oxygen tank impaling him or anything. He died because the oxygen tank impaled him and then broke open, and then the liquid oxygen asphyxiated him.
So
fucking crazy.
he essentially had oxygen poisoning as the cause of death.
God.
If you were the ME,
Yep.
I like that we refer to all of these things, as the article does, as accidents when all of these are preventable.
well,
They
Don't
are.
bring these very dangerous
accidents are
metallic
preventable, but they just happen
And
sometimes.
this is
These
my.
don't just happen. These
Well,
require you to be a fucking
I mean,
moron in the
you're
first
right,
place.
but at the same time,
But this is what I do for a living. My God, this happens all the time and nobody knows.
so what are
Let's go on
magnets?
to the next accident.
What are magnets?
Wait,
What are
what-
magnets? No, I really do want to know.
Yeah, I think
What?
this needs to be told.
Look, let's talk about the very first MRI accident that ever was recorded. Let's do that one.
That sounds interesting.
Exciting. When was the MRI invented?
Yeah, when was it invented or utilized?
So in 2003,
I was hoping it
the
was going to be
very first
27.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any
MRI
sense.
fatality accident happened. It was a little boy named Michael Colombini,
Wow.
and he was 6 years old.
Are you tugging at heartstrings right now? I feel
Yeah,
bad.
she is.
I am.
playing to the
And
crowd.
this is the reason that all of us have MRI safety protocols and policies in place now. So he, back in 2003, was having a sedated MRI because little children can't hold still enough to have an MRI. So
Me neither.
he was sedated, and the people that brought him into the room were not necessarily radiology people. And somebody brought a stretcher in with an oxygen tank
Jesus.
that was attached to the underside of it. And the oxygen tank acted as a projectile and smashed his skull into the side of the MRI machine.
Jesus Christ. That's not how I thought it was going to go.
No.
I thought it was going to be an explosion just because of the oxygen
So
tank.
he is the reason that all of us have MRI safety protocols in place now. He literally had his skull smashed apart.
Then I have a question. When was the first MRI?
In the very late 70s, early 80s.
And they didn't, because they must have known what, they knew they were using magnets.
Correct.
But they didn't
Yes, obviously.
have any, well,
Because they put magnetic in the first letter of magnetic resonance imaging. So I
But did they
feel
know
like
that
they may have
did
known
they-
that.
Did they know that it stood for that when they started using them, though?
or did that
I'm
just-
not quite
the
sure.
MRI is just a colloquialism.
Yeah, it's a backronym.
Son of a bitch.
Got him.
Now that raises more questions that aren't really questions because I know the answers, but
They're
I
just
gotta ask
insults,
them.
and that's okay.
Goddamn. Why wasn't there a safety protocol set in place?
There wasn't.
Just
So,
using magnets.
it was
Because
very-
What was the 80? What was
Yeah.
it? 85 when the first fatality occurred because
No,
of
it was
2000-something.
2003 when the first
All
fatality
right, so
happened.
that's I'm terrible at math, so I'm going to say 30 years.
Yeah, at least 50.
Well, according to this ABC News article, the device was invented in the early 1970s and first used on humans in 1977.
All those poor animals with butt plugs.
But it only took until 2005 for the first fatality to happen
That's a
because
good
of
run.
magnets.
That's
That is
solid.
that is a remarkable run, honestly.
Because my next question would be, those giant magnets that they use at junkyards and such like that. How many people were killed by those because they had a butt plug?
Well, how many people took dead bodies and put them in junkyards
with a butt plug in?
yeah.
Yeah, probably a lot.
You gotta just
pull that out of
if
the
you're
trash and it's
working
like
in the
shit.
junkyard
Yeah, they're hanging there
and you have
attached
access
to
to
the-
those
Well, the butt plug would come out. if
there
it
are
was
probably
like that.
so
No,
many
it's
dead
tight.
bodies
They-
concealed by it like that.
Yeah,
It's insane.
but
I
apparently
can
there's a lot of dead
imagine
bodies
that,
in the MRI machines.
we're in a junkyard and it's that cartoon scenario with the magnet just picking up.
I've seen
whatever.
the brave little toaster, Moses. I don't need you to elucidate.
Oh my God, I
this
brought
for
that
me.
up just recently because Nancy
great
wants to buy
movie.
another toaster. I'm like, no, that
so
toaster's
weird.
fine.
Yeah.
This is fine. She's like, oh, it's working now. Like, no, you never seen the Brave Little Toaster? You just got to give it a little minute. You know?
Are we talking about toasters now?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the heat blanket from
That's
that?
what I know.
Oh my god,
Oh,
heat
that
blanket
poor
was
Heath Blank-
adorable.
He was.
He was
the
really
greatest.
cute.
Like,
that movie. Oh
that
my
movie
God.
was.
You know what,
had-
Kim? You can get out of here.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about the Brave Little Toaster.
We're
for
good.
the rest of the
What are toasters if not small MRI machines?
Yeah. We're small people.
or small people. Yeah, they're kind of both. And that's all a person is at the end of the day. Is just an amalgamation of parts that
pretty much
fucking
true,
read
yeah.
something that you don't want the answers to.
I never knew that I wanted a son until I saw this toaster the other day, and my God, it tugs at my heart.
It was cute, right?
It was super cute.
Did it have two? Like you could put 4 pieces in?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you said a fork for a minute. I was like, Jesus.
Oh,
man,
you could put a fork in anything.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Put a toaster in a bathtub if you wanted to, Moses. There's no consequences. So I mean,
there's
just
still
do
a
it.
chance. I don't know. Like, well, they don't.
It
make,
makes the water warm.
Damn,
They
where's
don't make
Justin?
toasters the same. Toaster cords are not.
I
the
need
same
Justin to like equalize everything here in this
He could
room
not
right
be
now.
here today.
Yeah.
So, Kim, you were saying this accident happened when? 2003?
1 or 3?
It was July 31st, 2001. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
1 or
clarify.
3.
Yeah.
I,
That's a good
like I was
run now.
actually working in the MRI field when that happened. All y'all young people.
Were you taken aback? Did you guys have like a moment of
No,
silence?
it like
powwow
it
for it,
made
yeah.
us all like
Hold up refrigerator
was it
magnets
like a
and join them
9/11
together.
moment?
it made us take a step back and realize that we were working around something that was
Maybe I shouldn't
really
have this
risky.
name tag on.
And when I look back at me working in the 90s in MRI versus now, like it is really disturbing, like how
The practices that you that were mandatory.
what we were and weren't doing back then.
Kim, how
Yeah.
much do you have to drink when you see something like this? Like, how much do you have to drink to numb it all away?
I don't know, I'm drinking right now, but
the number is still continuing. Right?
but I don't know how that
We'll
correlates.
get back to that at the end.
Are we talking about the correlation with the emotional disturbance?
I think we're talking about the causation of the emotional
Ooh,
disturbance.
wow. Yeah.
Sometimes
A lot of
correlation.
C
is-
words here.
Sometimes correlation is not causation.
I've heard that.
Well, you have a situation like this where you have a 6-year-old child, but then you also have like the butt plug thing. Now that's funny, but like, oh my God, how does this
Yeah.
happen? So I figure after a day like that, you just have to, start slinging some suds.
Yeah, I feel like alcoholism would be innate.
I drink a lot. I have
If
to
it's a
admit.
child. If it's a child, alcoholism is innate. Like, nope, now you're an alcoholic. Sorry. Like, you witness that. That's what happens. But
Imagine if it's a kid with a butt plug too. Man, you're drinking for
then
weeks.
there's just red flags all over. Like, God damn.
Can we get through one?
Inappropriate, Kim. Come on.
Why would you bring that
Like,
up?
this is a
Why would you
podcast
bring that up
for
Kim?
children?
There's other accidents that can happen in MRI.
I love the accidents that I always see on like nonsense that I look on internet. That there's just like they forget to bring the gurney. They forget to bring it out. Like that
They
thing
just
is
leave it in the room?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 90% of that is metal. Like I want to say, like I've been on a gurney most of my life.
Yeah.
And that cushioning, that's made of metal too.
Yeah.
Like even the soft spots, that's metal.
Do you know what the biggest like culprit is for MRI? Like
Ignorance.
no, it is floor buffers.
What's a
Floor buffers.
What's a floor
you know
buffer?
that circular thing that people like
Moses
wax
was a janitor, so don't
floors
let him
with?
pretend that he does not know what you're talking about. because
There
he
are
totally does.
so many MRI, and let me tell you how much it costs if somebody accidentally brings a floor buffer into an MRI room and it gets sucked up into the
Oh
magnet.
my God! I was like, because I know what a floor buffer is. Because
Yeah.
I've been a janitor. But like, Jesus Christ,
son of a bitch.
I was just thinking like a rubber mat that just
No.
kind of has, and that was like a floor buffer. I was thinking just like something to make it kind of like to roll easier.
Why would you? That's not what a buffer is called.
Well, it's a buffer, so it's in between the.
I
ground
get what
and
you're
the-
saying, but you.
I didn't.
You're
I
a
didn't
goddamn
like,
janitor.
why are you buffing the
bitch.
floors of the fucking MRI area?
Because you
But-
need them clean to get the
Listen,
the metal off.
The magnet is always on, right? So the magnetic field is always on. People don't realize that. So sometimes cleaning people go into the room like, I'm going to clean the floor in here to make it look extra shiny. And then the buffer gets
Is that what they're saying to themselves?
sucked
Well,
into
that's why I
the
would-
machine.
First of all, I feel like they have an accent. And I'd love to hear that from you.
They don't have an accent because it's mostly Americans.
But
it mostly American?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, it probably got a lot of
if
money
a
over there.
buffer
It's
gets
weird.
MRIs
'Cause
is
it's
big
not really an
business,
American job.
if a buffer gets pulled into the magnet is
My
sticking
God, those things are heavy.
into the side, right? The only way you can get it off is to quench the magnet.
Oh my God.
So
Sometimes that's the only way to get myself off as well. I gotta punch that magnet, if you know what I mean.
Well,
There's a lot of energy
then
pulling in one
I
direction.
have two questions, one for each of you. Kim, how do you quench the magnet? And Pete, how do you quench the magnet?
With vigor.
That's,
With vigor.
that's
are you ready for my
I'm ready for
answer,
the real
which is the
answer.
Do you
actual
need any
answer?
lubrication for
So
it?
when
The
you
answer,
have a
Not the
magnet that is working at such a high temperature, you have
This is still my
helium
answer so far.
that is cooling the superconducting magnet at all times.
Does it burn to touch the magnet, like in a?
No. However, the helium
I just thought it was hot.
the helium is constantly going through to make the magnet like
There's a
cooler.
cooling. Yeah.
But if you have to ramp the magnet down, you have to shut it off, and the helium, which is a certain temperature, boils off into a gas, right? Helium goes from...
Quick question. When you ramp the magnet down, do you massage the balls at that time, or is that...
Yes, that's the exact time you massage the balls.
See, I would think that might, like, because you have the potentiality to ramp it up at that point. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm finding a new appreciation for ICT.
Magnets or... Oh. Oh. All right. Let's hear it.
Appreciation for...
Insane Cloud Posse.
Yeah.
They
so
were the
I don't
first
know
ones to ask the real question. What are magnets?
Yeah.
so
I'm upset by this.
when helium goes from a liquid to a gas, it turns into like something that if you're in the actual room could suffocate you because it removes all the oxygen
I
from
love
the
that.
room.
I love Moses' like deep inhale for this, which is
I
like the
know.
signification that he has no idea what you're talking about right now.
So you're taking this, you think it's just like an on-off switch, but it is not. You have
There's
to
a cool
like
down. It's like
yeah.
a cooling
It's a ramp
tower
down.
in a nuclear
Yep.
facility.
That's
So
I hate
when
this
that
analogy. It's
happens,
so inaccurate, but let's continue.
Is it?
Yes.
when that happens, it costs about $1.5 million to
Why does it
ramp
cost
down a
that
magnet.
money? Why does it cost that amount of money?
Because of the helium, cryogen, and the engineers and the machine. Like,
Can I donate helium? Because I got some in my car.
Oh, can I just get it? You can do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can. You
Let's
want
just
it?
do helium. Right
Like I
now.
did. Like,
We can all have funny
Not gonna-
voices for the podcast. Dan, you love editing, right?
that is true.
Oh, I absolutely love.
I do have it in the car. I do
but
have a helium tank in
when
the
the
car.
helium goes from a liquid state to a gaseous state and like goes
becomes
into the
monotonous.
room, what it does is anybody who happens to be in the room, which may or may not be a patient, those people, helium takes away their oxygen, so they start to suffocate in the room. And there is like,
What a great way to die, though.
and
don't
you
know.
can't get out of the room. You can't open the door. So
Why can't you? Because it would disperse. Like, because
Because the pressure-
They lock the doors. This is why MRIs are so dangerous in this country, because you are locked in the room. And then Kim's just outside and she's looking at you through like a little
Laughing.
porthole,
But-
laughing maniacally as you slowly succumb to the helium
It
poison.
just seems like because like the gases that you're saying are created, it seems like it'd be an easy disperse because there's a lot of
Well,
not fucking.
let me tell you,
helium
easy
areas.
disperse is one thing. So in recent years, we've made cryogen vent pumps, which make all of that vent out into the environment. But say a squirrel builds a nest in that cryogen vent pump.
I love this.
What?
You cannot have
Does it
it
sound like
vent
a leap for us, but for
appropriately.
him that was so
No,
casual to
that's
say?
a real
I
ass thing.
thought I was going to be ridiculous, being like, "Oh, we're just doing Demolition Man."
No.
But no, you went crazy.
No, that's
Are
a-
you saying
so
that
it's squirrels.
squirrels are
It's
killing
squirrels
us?
are killing us.
Oh my god!
Which I get because
All right,
squirrels.
so Dan, that's the name of the podcast. Squirrels, the enemy in sight.
No,
squirrels are
that's
just
a real
land
ass
dolphins.
thing. So every year, like my particular company, which will not be named,
Never.
does cryogen vent pumps
I thought you were going to say we kill 10,000 squirrels a year.
No, we do
where the
camera
real money is.
inspections to make sure there's no like blockage.
Why would they
But
get? How
some
would they get?
people, if you're in an MRI place that isn't as prudent, are like not inspecting their vent pipes,
If they're not
and there
properly
may be
killing
a
squirrels.
squirrel nest, and then all that cryogen goes into the room,
How do the squirrels get
and
in there?
everybody
They're
asphyxiates
drawn
and
to
dies.
magnets.
I don't know if that's.
No, that's a fact. Yeah, squirrels
Why
are
are-
known for being drawn to magnets. They're naturally drawn to magnets.
Is that because they're robots?
It's part of the reason, yeah, but it's not the only reason. Again, that's causation versus correlation.
I really want the listeners to know how many more MRI accidents I sent you.
Never get
Oh,
an
there's a
MRI.
lot. There's a lot.
Is that a long list?
Yeah, it's
Tell us
Give me
about all
like
of them.
3 more highlights. That's all I've got time for.
Well, here's what I'll do.
So low.
I
I
will.
didn't know it was going to go this fast.
I
will
only
go-
have one more 40. I don't know if I could do this.
Well, at least it's a plastic bottle. There's no metal in there. You're good.
I could go for an MRI.
Yeah. You know what? Let's all get MRIs today. Can we do that?
Yes, I will let you in the back door of my work.
I
Is
totally
that
need
is
an
this like a
MRI.
euphemism for a butt plug thing? I
know
don't know if I'm
MRIs.
I don't know if I'm into that. I can go either way. You know
I'm
what?
all about
Actually,
the
you
back
know what?
door.
I'm feeling frisky. This is Sunday.
Kim,
It's
I'll go
God's
in your
day.
back door. It'll be fine. We'll get MRIs.
As long as you can hold my hand for it, Moses.
Well, you can hold something.
All right, that's fair. As long as there's no metal in it.
Your breath.
Go
How
on,
about the
Dan.
engineer who slowly died because nobody was around her to like discover she was being crushed against the magnet?
That sucks. I'd rather have a butt plug ripped.
So 48 hours later, a security guard found her.
Faster.
You have that one, Dan?
I have.
Tell that one. Tell
I have
that-
the nurse.
That cracking jacket.
I have the Swedish nurse.
Oh, the Swedish nurse. Yeah, but that's not the best
That's
one.
just a boiled peanut. Like,
Was
we
she a
want
chef
a
as well,
cracker
or not?
jack. Like I kind of
deep
feel
in
like
it.
we're
What
gonna
a
get into the Irradium girls. Oh, because that's a fun story.
Yeah. I feel like you said irradium.
Yeah, was it Irradium?
It's just radium.
Was it just radium?
Yeah.
I thought they were
Radium
called the,
poison,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe they were radium girls. I don't know.
They were radium.
I
girls.
drink a
I'm
lot.
telling you that they were
I drink a lot at work when I listen to these podcasts. So I like
telling you
to.
this. Irradium.
Irradium?
Irradium. With an I.
Yeah,
the word that he made
Irradium?
up.
With an I?
Yeah.
that's what
Go
I
on.
did.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, that's what I did.
They used to make toothpaste out of that. That's true.
Irradium?
Oh, God damn it, radium.
I'm glad I got rid of my teeth at a young age.
Yeah.
I got rid.
So much room for radium right now.
Well, because I'm
No,
straight. I'm not
Irradium.
gay.
God damn it, Kim. Can we please get a specialist on this show?
Oh, we have one. Have a,
We've got a radium Kim right here.
me and my friend Kim.
Yeah. Is she irradiated?
Oh, she is. She's radiating.
Irradiation is a thing.
She's radiating brilliance right now.
Oh, look at
Irradium.
that. God damn it, Kimberly.
Yeah, it looks like you got set up. Son.
Got him.
So when we get rid of him and do our podcast,
All right,
like what
we'll do
everybody's gonna
one.
listen,
I like that.
We'll be fun.
Can I show up on it and drink easy?
No.
No, you're not invited.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't
care if I'm invited.
I
will
don't
be
need
there.
your toxicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're super toxic.
No.
All right, so I found this
The
one.
irradiation.
Although the source to this
Probably
is
irradiation.
interesting. Medical quack.
Nice.
Ducknetweb.blogsphere.
That sounds valid.
Shout out.
MRI accident earlier this year killed service engineer who was sucked in and pinned to the unit. FDA investigation.
That's an actual thing, even
ever
though
get
the
drinking
source
before
is
bed?
not.
Sometimes
the
I wake up into it.
The source is sketchy, but that is an actual
Got rid
thing.
of my teeth.
And it was a female engineer, which is not common. Like,
Yeah,
usually
because they're not as good.
MRI, like service engineers, are usually male, but this was a female, and she was killed very, very slowly over like 18 hours.
Terrible. That's terrible.
Did she know how to listen? Is that why it happened?
Did she burn the roast? Is that
Yeah.
why she
Burn
was
to the
there?
roast, dude. Yeah.
You know what? She probably didn't know how to listen, so that was
didn't,
probably her fault.
Yeah.
No.
You know, I want to feel bad. I
Yeah.
do. But
There's no Judas.
So
Priest
she
on
was
it.
in a very cluttered MRI room, and there was a lot of ferromagnetic items in the room.
is that like pheromones?
And she was working by herself, and she moved an item, and she walked towards the magnet, and one of the items smashed her against the machine, And there was
She's like walking
literally
backwards towards it? How does this happen? It's
There
like
was-
carrying fucking 20-pound weights?
literally no one working with her, so she died slowly
It's like a
over
workout
like
room
18 hours
I get-
until a security guard the next morning
shut
found
it
her.
off. And
No,
then
he found her, and she was dead at that point.
But
What
I
kind
gotta-
of a security guard has no metal on him? What is he doing? How is he keeping us secure?
Yeah, who's he shooting for? Because I know we've stolen at least one copper-filled thing.
Well, copper isn't magnetic.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
a
but it
magnet
heats
that
up.
we
Yeah,
stole.
but
It heats up. So if you have
that
a copper,
makes
if you
sense.
have a
I
copper
didn't know
IUD, you can get an internal
Is that a thing?
burn. Yes.
There's a copper.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the only way that they make
From the
them.
Why would they
80s
do
and
that?
90s.
Isn't that the
Why
way
would
that
they
they
do
make
made
them?
IUDs out of copper,
Yeah.
and people had internal injuries
I thought it would
from
just be,
MRIs.
what
Well,
do
they're
you call
not
it?
now.
MRI
I
safe
don't
devices?
have an IUD, so I don't know. But
We'll talk about
back
that
in the
later,
day,
That's fair.
like copper IUDs were a thing. Copper 7, they called them, because they were shaped like a 7.
Doesn't copper leak into your? You could get copper.
You're thinking of
poisoning.
aluminum.
Am I?
You are, yes. You are.
That's what I'm thinking of. It might be
Well,
some
it's
other
not
metal.
copper.
But
Copper's non-toxic to people. That's why you make the pipes out of it, including yours inside your own body. Kim's a doctor. She can verify what I'm saying.
I am mostly robot now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I drew the logo for this podcast.
You did.
And the reason is because Pete drew such a shitty logo that I was
He
like,
did.
oh my God, that sucked.
No, I was all like.
And
when
then I
did I draw? I don't even
facetiously
remember.
It
drew
was
a
something
different
nonsensical.
logo,
That makes sense,
and
yeah.
that became the logo.
Yeah.
When I saw your logo, I didn't even know it was you, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is it," because it was
I agree.
it was basic, but it was pure, and it meant and
From the heart.
and it showed everything that we are.
Yeah.
Like the infancy,
The infancy.
the infancy of I've said that. I'm trying to think of another word. We were in our childlike stages of building because this was going to be a different podcast altogether, not in the way you see it now.
Blah, blah, blah.
But
Exactly.
I'm doing my Pete or my our guest
My
impression.
name is Pete. Yeah.
Is it Pete now?
Yeah, what are you, fucking retarded?
A little.
My name is Pete Shabazz. How do you not fucking know who I am?
I've been calling you Little Shabazz this entire time.
Yeah,
And I love you for that.
Dan, get them in line.
Yeah. Get
Oh,
them
there's
in
no
line.
getting them in line.
This is
You don't do as many podcasts with these guys.
this is what we've evolved to.
He's drinking an easy. Yeah, I got whiskey here. You've had, what is that, like 17 fucking White Claws? You fucking white bitch.
So-
There's a lot of white
you.
claws there.
Let's
Goddamn.
let's kind of put like a little button on.
right.
Let's kind
Wrap it
of
up.
let's put a
Wrap it up,
ribbon
big.
on the MRI portion of this.
Okay.
Because one of the articles you sent me was serious burns that were happening
Yes.
at an MRI. Now I've had a few MRIs in my life. I've felt tired after them, but I don't know if that's because of the MRI. When
Or
you
the
get
stress.
Yeah, is that a
Yeah.
thing?
Or the
Oh,
stress,
yeah,
because-
stress makes sense. Yeah.
The
So
stress kind
that-
of makes sense with the exhaustion. But
That has nothing to do why burns happen.
No,
Well, no, not
I'm
burns,
just using
but-
that as an example.
Yeah.
Like, how would a burn happen in the first place? And are those of any of the side effects or any of the accidents that happen with an MRI? Are those the most common?
So, yes, that is the very most common thing that happens. And let me tell you that yoga pants nowadays
yeah.
have silver particles in them because they want
gotta
to
be shiny.
eliminate like odors in people. So silver absorbs odor or whatever. So apparently
Wash yourself.
there's been a lot of people that went into their MRI and they were like, you know what, I'm wearing these yoga pants and they don't have any snaps, buttons, zippers, anything on them.
Fuck you, Lululemon.
And these people got severe burns, like with blisters and everything, because
Christ. Oh, man, that means you'd be
Silver-
getting them on your bits and pieces, too.
on the
yes.
bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
so
Yeah.
silver
important part,
particles,
all the
I
Winters
could
are-
walk off a thigh burn, but I'm
cause
not
people
walking
to
off
have
a
blisters
testicle
and
burn.
Yeah.
silver
It heats
in
it up.
yoga pants. Yeah, so most MRI places that are worth anything are making you change out of everything. And the most frustrating thing that happens
sense,
from
yeah.
patients is they're like, well, the last MRI I had, they didn't make me take my
No, it's practicing.
off.
Yeah, it's practicing.
Yeah, but we know
medicine.
more
It's not-
information now.
Because you're practicing medicine.
Right.
You're not mastering it. You're never going to master it because
Right.
everything happens.
yes.
I don't get the reasoning of like that the last MRI blank, you know, I mean the last anything that you did, it doesn't mean that it
Yeah, but
foreshadows-
You
People
learn from your
are
mistakes.
dumb.
I'm saying as the patient.
People are dumb. They're like, well, the last MRI I had, I
that's
didn't have
not
to change
true.
my clothes.
People are stupid.
But now
are
we
dumb.
know that there's
I don't know
silver
this.
particles for odor absorption in clothes, and people are like, well, I didn't have to change last time.
Yeah.
And now we're
So
trying
just
to make
let
them
them burn
change.
alive in the MRI machine.
Yeah.
Who cares?
In all
But they're not gonna
honesty,
hold
that
still.
is what I want to do.
This is a burning alive.
But you can't
We're never
do
gonna get
that.
this scan.
So I sent Dan some very crazy pictures of blisters.
Dan, show us
I don't
some
want
crazy
to
pictures.
see these pictures. That sounds
wanna see
awful,
them. I wanna come over there and
awful
look at them.
blisters and burns.
Are you telling me that I shouldn't wear
Because
yoga pants to my
these
next
are
MRI?
these are considered radio frequency burns. So when you have
It's like a microwave.
yeah,
the
like
same concept,
it's a
right?
loop. I mean, if you have a
It
radio
vibrates
frequency loop,
particles. Yeah.
it heats up. It's all about heat.
Yeah. That's the way I live my life.
Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's start a little segment here. Would you rather?
Yes, I'm very excited.
I would rather.
So I have a scenario, and if you guys come up with scenarios, please share them. And share them on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
I like that you slipped that in there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
nice. Very smooth.
Would you rather be rushed to the hospital to the normal ER, but the person driving you is an Uber driver in a Tesla, or
Okay.
you are rushed to the hospital by a loved one, but the hospital is in East Orange and it's also the VA clinic?
This is very nuanced.
What was the other thing?
The first
Uber
one?
driver.
This has already lost that. This is very nuanced.
It was very nuanced. 'Cause
Uber driver 100%.
I'm kind of on board.
Because
with the Uber
anything to
driver.
do with the VA is like ridiculous.
Yeah, the VA sucks. I've never even been there, but I
Well,
know
the
your
VA
fucking
is going to
stories.
reject me just because I have no business being there.
Well, I'm assuming
fair,
we're working under the assumption that you would be seen technically at the VA, but you probably won't
Do
because
they
no one
hold-
gets.
What
Do
was the
they
first
hold
one
the
again?
same-
I'm sorry.
The first one is you were being rushed to the hospital, normal hospital, like a normal
Just
ER.
regular, like whatever hospital.
One of the few that I'm kicked out of, yeah.
But the person who is driving you is an Uber driver, and the person is driving a Tesla. So you're going to hear all about the Tesla.
yeah,
You
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
got it,
God,
I got it.
I have stories about that. Yeah.
Is one of the options that I could just bleed out on my own property?
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen to you at the VA.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also
you know what?
what's
I'm
gonna-
all right with that. I'm
that's
gonna go with
also
that one
what's
then.
gonna happen
Choice
with that
C,
Tesla.
please, if I could see that on the board.
Honestly, it seems like we're going to come to the same answer here.
Yeah.
And we're just going to bleed out because neither one of them are going to do
Yeah, the
anything
VA's
for
not
us.
going to help me. I don't really want to have that whole drive with, like, I mean, maybe my brother or one of you guys. I don't know how far we're dragging out this loved one thing. I definitely don't want to hear about a Tesla. I've never take Ubers, and I've heard so much about how awesome Teslas are,
I've had
and
a
I just
Tesla
don't
as an
fucking
Uber,
care.
and it is exhausting. Like, I just wanted to die.
Yeah.
Because I heard so much about Tesla, and
Well,
I don't
that's just
care.
it.
And I
yeah.
don't care.
Did you know that Elon Musk is a hero? Dan, have you thanked him for his service?
Have you? This might be a little bit off topic, but have we listened? Did you know about the MMA fight between Tesla, whatever his
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, and
This is
Facebook
not
guy?
a thing. Whatever you're saying, it's
And
cannot
Facebook
be
guy,
real.
Mark Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, no, this is a
This
real
is
thing.
not a thing.
This is a real thing.
This is not a thing.
This is a real thing.
I'm gonna Dan, can you
I'm on it.
drop some reason on this conversation? I need cold water and boron to put out this fucking.
Can I tell you that if you Google "Would you rather," the first thing that comes up
They were gross.
is,
I did try to do this.
Would you
They
rather
are.
have telekinesis, the ability to
Move objects with your mind.
move things with your mind, or
Oh,
telepathy,
nice. Yeah,
the ability to
Thank you,
read
Kim, for
minds?
explaining that to me.
So, like, would you rather team up with Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Oh,
That
these are-
seems like a Moses thing.
That's totally.
Would you rather be forced to sing along or dance to every single song you hear? Like, these are stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like we should make them more fatalist.
The top.
Like, would
All right,
you
let's hear it.
rather?
No, well,
like,
let's get my thing.
let's talk about the people that died in the submarine.
Why?
Would you rather die of implosion
That's
or
instantaneous.
like
Explosion.
waited like
Wait.
5 days until your oxygen ran
It's
out.
obvious that you would want to die of the implosion.
Yes,
it
of
takes
course.
like 30 milliseconds or some shit like that.
Yeah,
at that
but what
depth.
if there was
But I'm right about that fucking
choice
fight,
that,
right?
like, an option that you may survive in that time?
But you wouldn't. In what scenario are you surviving either of these things? You're saying like, what if you could survive for the 5 days and like make
Well,
it
you
out?
don't know if you're gonna survive, man.
Well, but you're not. You're at the bottom of the fucking ocean. How are they going
Right,
to rescue you
but
from that
maybe
shit?
somebody's
That's
gonna
why all
come
this
to
thing was
get you.
Goddamn chicanery. So who's coming to get you? Superman? You gonna fucking whip
You're
his way
a
down there?
billionaire.
Bust you out of that Fucking.
You're a billionaire. Somebody's coming to get you.
Well, first of all, that's sad.
Honestly, if you're a billionaire, nobody's coming to get you because they want
nobody
you.
likes you.
Yeah,
Fuck
nobody
you.
likes you. They're just placating you.
Yeah.
Like nobody
People
actually
just
likes
want your
you.
money, but they don't need it anymore because you're fucking dead. You know who they're placating is your child who's still alive because they weren't dumb enough.
Or
to go
whoever
down to
is-
the
Wait,
fucking
or
Titanic.
is giving
Let's
into
just
the
talk
well.
about the child. Did you
He was
see
a
all the
child. He was
stuff?
19 years old.
Yeah, let's-
he was
let's
going
use
to
him
like
on the
Blink
child.
182.
He's a
Because he's not a child.
I'm sorry.
He's not a child.
Okay,
He's a-
okay, let's restore order to this.
Order.
Bullet
order.
point 1. Moses is right.
Is this about radiology again?
Moses was right. Mark Zuckerberg is ready to fight Elon Musk in a cage match. This is per The Verge. After Elon recently tweeted that he would be up for a cage fight with Zuckerberg, the Meta CEO shot back by posting a screenshot of Musk's tweet with the caption, "Send me the location."
This is fake news, Dan. And
I don't know if it is.
People.
And Zuckerberger's gonna whip the shit out of Elon.
Zuckerberg, you fucking asshole.
Zuckerberg is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and something else.
He's
I
not
think.
a fucking black belt in anything other than douchebaggery, as are all of these people who go on the news to talk about the things that they
Zuckerberg
would do
has been winning
and never
fights.
do.
Zuckerberg's been winning fights.
Yeah, and
Granted,
Elon Musk
I don't
puts
know
up
who's
fucking
fighting.
marks.
Okay.
He might, but he's been winning fights.
So
So-
for all you listeners out there, if you're wondering what it looks like in actuality in this room, it's like sepia because so many people are smoking, like I can't even see.
You want a cigarette?
No.
Yeah, you want? We already did that episode.
So, probably won't happen, but
Probably
it,
won't,
it's unfortunately been in the news. So,
It's
there
the
you
most
go.
interesting
not gonna
thing we have.
So,
They're both cowards.
so here's about
That's
so,
fair.
They're both cowards.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Would you rather be on a OceanGate Titan cruise to go see the Titanic,
Yes.
or watch this fight?
Would you?
Oh, that's
Well-
a good question.
Would you
That
rather?
one's good.
Would you rather fight Elon Musk or Zuckerberg?
I mean, it wouldn't really matter. Both of them
I
are
would
bitches, and they're
fight
gonna chicken
like
out.
Zuckerberg because
I don't
he's
know.
not going to be anything
Zuckerberg-
worth fighting.
Zuckerberg-
I
He's
would
got a
fight.
black belt.
I would fight Elon Musk personally because Zuckerberg. I think my observation of his demeanor and so on and so forth. I think he's a true bitch. So he would just like immediately give up the fight, and it wouldn't be any fun. I'm going into this with the assumption that I would totally win it. With Elon Musk, I think he would really put up a fight.
I don't
He's
think
got so much fucking
See,
pride.
I think the opposite.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would go Elon Musk because he's got the age. Like he's older than I am,
Yeah.
and there, like I'm just.
And
Starting,
he is from South Africa, albeit a spoiled bitch. But
Yeah, so he doesn't really have anything.
well, I mean, South Africa's a dangerous place, is what I was
Yeah, but it's not as dangerous as actual Africa.
My second would you rather is, would you rather go on an OceanGate sponsored submarine cruise to go see the Titanic wreckage, or would you watch this Zuckerberg
Oh, I'm watching the fight.
Musk fight?
I would watch the fight.
I'm watching the fight.
You're watching the fight instead?
I would watch the fight. I mean, one of them is death.
Yeah, one is just either watch this fight
And
or
the
just
other one
die.
is,
Only
and the
one
other
is
one is a
death.
death that you keep with you for the rest of your life.
But it's a quick, painless death.
that's true. Yeah.
As opposed to
It's gonna be
this,
sad. Like
as,
two old men.
as opposed to watching this fight,
There's
which
a
is just
20.
be slow.
There's a 20-year gap in between the two of them.
Also, too, like they're both billionaires, and it looks like
Moses,
Zuckerberg.
just for the
do you do
viewers,
with
Moses is smelling peach tinctures
What do you
right
do
now.
with this?
You put it inside you, but not when
Why?
you go into an MRI machine.
Well, it's mostly metal.
I don't know. I can't rule it out. Peaches are mostly metal. They have a metal core.
well,
They're
apparently,
stone fruit. Like they have
So-
more.
Those people are billionaires, and a lot of people are like up in arms about the fact that like fuck them. They
'cause they're douchebags.
spent
Yeah, they
like
are
$250,000 to go into the abyss to like be explorers. Who cares? Who cares?
It's total bullshit. People are describing them like in the media and what have you, and it's like these are adventurers and explorers. If you had $1 billion fucking dollars, then everybody is a goddamn explorer. It's total bullshit. All that they were really doing is just showing off that they can do things that you can't do because you're fucking poor. So the idea that I should be sad that they imploded at the bottom of the ocean while they were doing that, it's like somebody spitting in your face and you're supposed to some way like sympathize with them because it backfired. And I don't know how that would backfire actually. Like the spit kills them, I guess, like a bullet. I don't even know. But fuck these people. I don't give a shit about them. And the 19-year-old is like still, he's just a billionaire 19-year-old. I don't give a shit. And the sentiment about calling that person a child,
the guy who was the son of the billionaire?
Yeah. When it's a billionaire who dies at the bottom of the ocean while quote unquote exploring, while adventuring. That's a child. When it's a fucking 19-year-old who, does something wrong and they're in the media, that's a 19-year-old man who just committed that crime.
Those are the things you're allotted for having billions of dollars and just being able to waste them, not on important things.
Yeah. And I would do the same fucking thing.
But
I'm happy to call myself a hypocrite, but I don't deserve sympathy.
I'm all about this fight because then it's just like fucking, what is it, Tom from MySpace with a steel chair.
Oh, you remember that guy?
Like coming out in this, and then fucking Jim Ross being like, my God.
Why is it always about wrestling?
Because that's what we're doing, man.
Just a wrestling podcast.
I know you don't think it's that yet, but
Dan, I feel like we're wrapping up, but can we do one more MRI accident so I feel productive today?
Let's do it. I'm all about this.
It's got to be a Cracker Jack then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got to tell me which one you want.
I don't know. You tell me. I sent them all to you.
This is all I need.
You and I have been best friends for the past 48 hours.
Look at that. That's longer than she's ever had a friend.
Well, instead of... You know what, Kim? I don't want to betray you, but I will use something that you sent me.
But I will betray you.
I don't want to, but I will.
Because we already wrapped up the MRI. Let's not do that again. But I feel like this is a good way to close out. You sent me a list of weird things that have been stuck up people's butts
It doesn't seem like an MRI thing.
that were found on x-rays.
That's awesome.
X-ray,
Those are great, though.
foreign
You
bodies.
just ring off this list.
Oh, it's
I'm
like a
so
Phineas
curious,
Gage kind of thing. Where it's
so-
just like, oh, he's got a fucking
That's an obscure
4-foot nail.
reference.
But, like,
Tried and true. Obviously, it's going to lead off. Dildo.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
expected.
get that. Yeah.
So this next one,
Is it the zucchini?
it is the zucchini. Yes.
How do you...
That long pause really matters.
I really got to ask, how do you pickle your vegetables?
Listen to the rest of the list.
All right.
A can of butane.
Wow. The whole one.
That's oddly specific. Like,
Yes.
it could have been a can of anything.
Yeah.
Just a can.
Yeah.
But a can
Well, they're
of
a little
butane,
butane is rounded at the
they
top.
are, yeah, they're
There's a
kinda,
valve there
they're
too.
kind of
though.
meant
and not for nothing, that's sharp. So
and dangerous. 'cause
Yeah, well,
that leaks.
yeah,
that
butane.
leaks. Like, yeah, you ever fill up a Zippo? Fucking happens.
yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the dildo of, I guess, vegetables, or if it even is a vegetable, eggplant.
Eggplant is
That's
a
all.
vegetable.
Wow. Yeah. They come in different sizes,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna.
And the whole point of them having like imaging, it becomes public knowledge, is because they get it in there and they can't get it out.
I was gonna
That's
say,
why
just
they
show up
end
like
it-
casual as
they
fuck,
end
like, I've
up
been having,
in
like,
the
gastric
ER.
pains. And it's like,
No, they're
well,
like-
did you do anything strange recently?
That is a good question. Like,
No,
how do you
because-
dance, how do you
Pretty much
dance
just normal
around that?
stuff.
I got an eggplant
They
shoved
end
my
up
ass.
in the ER and they're like, "Fuck, I can't get this out."
Yeah.
I'm a little stuffed up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you got a fucking Italian meal in your ass.
I mean, yeah, not for nothing. Like, you could just, like, can't the doctor just, like, pull that out? Do you need
I think
the
you would need-
embarrassment of...
No, you
no,
can't
some of it
always
needs
pull
surgery.
it out. There's an abdominal incision involved.
Jesus.
Yeah, you get an episiotomy.
Well, what's the lesson?
No, that's your vagina,
Oh,
Moses.
Like we're talking the same general area, and that's what they're doing.
Isn't it the same thing as where babies come from?
That's kind of
Yeah.
different holes.
Yeah. You put an eggplant in there and then it grows into a baby and...
Yeah, it's the reason why your mother always told you not to eat the watermelon seeds.
Is that...
What's the next one, Dan? Because Moses is ridiculous.
Welcome to my life.
I haven't said anything wrong yet.
You're listening to the angriest podcast in the world with Dan the Legend.
Oh, I could be angrier.
Yeah?
Oh, good.
So the next,
Not without an eggplant.
I could be more ridiculous too.
the next thing found shoved up someone's ass is a jar.
Just like a whole jar.
Like a mason jar.
Like a mason jar, yes.
One of those
jar.
ball jars.
Yeah.
That is super common.
That's
Why?
Like, that's so weird.
Why?
Super common.
Why is it super common?
It is. I don't know
believe you
why.
that it is, but why?
I don't know. Like, it gets up there, they can't get it out, man.
Yeah, but why? But why are you putting that in your ass?
I have a.
Like, I get that you've
I
obviously
don't
been
I have
know.
something
waiting
for
for
this. I have
years.
something-
Okay.
and correct me if I'm wrong. That when a woman gives birth, they can have orgasm. They can
What?
achieve orgasm just by pushing the baby out.
Wait.
Is that not a
That
thing?
Yes.
cannot be a universal
That-
thing. first.
I know it's not a common thing, but it is a thing.
So it was like a weird niche thing that happened, like on some reality show, that a woman was having labor pains and she was like, like,
Well,
and
no,
she
not-
had
not
like an
the fake-
orgasm.
not the fake
But
orgasm,
like,
but-
I really don't feel like
but
that.
isn't that a medical thing? Like
Nobody has any
it's
like.
not common, but it is a thing.
No, but I don't know
It's
if
not
there's
impossible.
any like.
It's just improbable.
I don't know if there's any like
Validity to
things
that,
that say
that
that is
accusation.
legit.
That's what I've
I mean,
read that.
maybe if you're a pain
I've
person,
read that, and I've never
Like,
given birth. So
maybe
I
if
don't
you're
know,
a
but-
pain person and you have pain
So it
and
depends on the
pain
person.
equates with orgasm, then perhaps. But I
So these
can't
are just rape victims.
fathom that pain equating with orgasm is a thing.
I'm not equating it. I'm just saying that it's probable, or it's possible. Not
You saw something on a like
Possible.
thing,
So you have to be an optimist.
but
Yeah, I like to look at the silver lining of things, even if it is the uterus.
This person probably wishes he used a banana or she used a banana because it was an orange.
Oh, I don't know why you would use an orange, but like,
That's way too much citrus.
like I get the banana in your tailpipe thing, but like,
I mean, I don't, but you
well,
know,
well, no,
to each
I-
their own.
yeah.
We have a rubber fist.
Wow.
Well, that's
Okay.
just yeah,
I mean, that's made for that, right?
yeah. That's kind
So
of
why
what
else does that exist?
And this is actually probably fairly common, a vibrator.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
just
all
gets
the
lost
time.
in there. Yeah.
Because and the batteries are still
all
inside.
the time.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah. Is it still vibrating the whole time?
Oh, man.
God, you imagine that?
Until it runs out of batteries, Pete.
Yeah, well, it's all the time in the world.
And those D's, they got a lot of energy.
Oh, my
So,
God.
do you feel that your life is now more enriched, having known all these things get stuck up people's asses?
I'm just saying that, like, every time that I look at a stranger now, they have something inside of their body.
Probably.
yeah. And now you can legitimately ask, what is stuck up your ass?
Yeah.
And,
And
now
at
I
the
want an
same
actual
time-
It's an
like-
orange, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody will drink Bud Light, but everybody's got a thing stuck up their ass.
Well, maybe a can of Bud Light is
That
stuck up
might
their
have been,
ass.
like,
Probably
maybe
is, yeah.
that's probably been a big. Like,
If it's
well,
an orange, you're keeping scurvy.
in all honesty, it couldn't be a Bud Light can because Modelo.
Well, then you'd be
took
trans.
No, Modelo took the
Nutella?
hierarchy.
Nutella, the Nutella beer.
Modelo took the hierarchy of
Of all things
selling the
having your
most.
ass, Nutella seems kind of neat. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a
It's
big
like
fan of
sweet and
hazelnut.
salty at the same time.
All right.
Well, I like tasting hazelnut. I don't like it in my ass.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
He said-
we have to cut Moses off because he's just so super right now.
He's
a
so
little
extra.
You're a little
Let's forgive
You're
the
listening to
twins
the
over
extra
here.
podcast.
So, Pete, do you have any closing thoughts?
I really don't know what I could possibly add to this. I guess to the viewers, never get an MRI no matter what is wrong with you, because almost certainly the consequences are greater than death. If you do have to go and get one, remove your butt plug first. I personally know that's painful to do sometimes. The parting of
Leaving it behind.
leaving
The
it behind.
emotional.
the emotional connection that one has to a butt plug.
Behind.
Thank you. It's very. She is the only doctor.
She's the best one on this
whole
podcast.
By the way, absolutely.
God damn,
yeah.
I didn't
We
even see
circled
that. I'm
back.
a punisher.
Absolutely, yeah. And on the note of pressing buttons and Siemens, I will leave it to Kim.
Moses, do you have any closing thoughts?
Oh, I thought we were going with Kim.
No.
I was going
Make
to.
it Moses first.
All right. Well,
I need to be inspired.
Ryan, I'm glad we covered a lot of your topics. And you know what? Keep doing what you're doing, you Sasquatch motherfucker.
Wow.
Love you.
Well, no.
So I am like very happy to be the first female guest on this podcast, and also the person who drew the logo. So thank you for appreciating me.
Thank you for all you've done.
I've done a lot.
Still do. Yes. You,
One final question, Kim. Since we're going to turn the mics off, can I put my butt plug back in?
Yes, you
'cause
may.
these are magnetic.
Because we are nowhere near an MRI.
All right. I wasn't sure about the
we're
mics.
always near an
Yes.
I'm going to put it back in then. Full disclosure, I've been wearing it the whole time.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Fucking prude.
Yeah.
If you happen to enjoy this tale of butt plugs and MRIs,
I don't know why you would.
be sure.
I'm uncomfortable, and I don't get.
I definitely need to take a shower after that. I feel filthy.
Everybody, get into the showers. We gotta wash
Like
each
really
other off.
gross,
We're
right?
doing it, yeah.
Be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Maybe tell us what's up your ass in that 5-star review.
That's a great segue.
That really is.
That is good.
Check us out on YouTube and Rumble. I mean, you can leave a comment on YouTube and Rumble as well, so maybe tell us what's up your ass in the comment section.
Leave comments.
Yeah, get aggressive
It doesn't
with it.
matter. Just say whatever the fuck you want to say, and we'll talk about it.
But also make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow us on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So hit us up with what's up your ass on those social media accounts. And we are also on Locals. So if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider contributing to us on Locals so Pete can afford better butt plugs.
Yeah. Oh, I need them. I need the kind that are just silicone. I cannot go by these Amazon reviews any longer.
He's just been shoving up corks up his ass from
It's
his
been
whiskey bottles that he
difficult.
drinks.
Yeah.
So,
He's a
for
county cork.
Once you pop.
You can't stop. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. And lead us out.
So, for Moses, Pete, and Kim, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all the insight you gave us on MRIs, and thank you for not sending me all of that stuff before my MRI.
You're welcome. I strategically did not send
That
it
was
to
a
you
missed
before
opportunity.
your MRI.
And to you out there, thank you for joining us, and until next time, get whatever is in your ass out of your ass, and subscribe to this podcast. This is Loud and Drunk.
That goes for you, Sasquatch.